Do you see what those people are doing when they're buying this Blu-ray? They're Twitter painting. Hey guys, this is Animat and welcome back to Animat's Blu-ray Reviews. And today we got a very special episode for you guys. Now, unlike the previous episodes where I would look into Blu-rays that are based on recent movies that have been released in theaters not too long ago, this time I actually have a classic right over here, and this one being Bambi, the 75th anniversary edition as part of the Walt Disney Signature Collection. Yes, holy crap, Bambi is 75 years old. Can you believe that? Now, before I would go and talk about the Blu-ray itself, allow me to go and explain to you my little thoughts onto Bambi. And let me just say right now, yes, this movie has every right to be called a classic. This is a powerful coming-of-age story where you see the life of this little fawn that would eventually become the great prince that he is destined to be. And throughout his life, he would experience just all the small things, like some of the cute, happy moments, and even some of the tragic moments, like the unfortunate death of his mother. But throughout this whole thing, what you would get is some masterfully crafted Disney animation, and it really is amazing how even to this day, there are very few things in this world where the animation would even get up to the level of Disney's animation that they have crafted back in the 40s, rather it be with stuff like Pinocchio, Fantasia, or even Bambi. And in here, you do get such an amazing example of that, especially with the beautiful painted-like backgrounds, or even the amazing special effects that they have done with like the drops of water, or even the roaring fire that would surround the forest. Everything about the effects are just beautiful, and even the characters themselves. This definitely tells how Disney has definitely grown in terms of their animation, pretty much going outside of what they have done with the Silly Symphonies and also Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, where now they have crafted realistic looking animals but still maintain a bit of their animated side to show a bit of human expression and to give some characters onto these little woodland creatures. And my only little piece of criticism that I would have with it, it's not necessarily too much, but I would say that maybe this is not necessarily for everyone, because this is the movie where a lot of people would make fun of it because it's just cute little animals just being cute little animals. And you do get a lot of those scenes that it's just Bambi and Thumper trying to be cute, rather it be with the whole ice scene, or like Bambi learning how to walk and talk and all that kind of stuff. So for the most part, it does get pretty disgustingly cutesy. But when it does get serious, when it does have its powerful moments, it does leave a serious impact, and it can be a very strong moment, like a very strong movie when it wants to. And in that regard, that's why many people would highly look it up as one of the greatest animated films that Disney has ever made, or one of the greatest animated films, period. In fact, Walt Disney himself would actually consider this his favorite among the movies that he has ever produced. So, with all that said and done about the movie, let's get into the Blu-ray itself. Now, I just want to remind you guys, however, that this is not necessarily the first time that Bambi has appeared on Blu-ray. Now, back in 2011, Bambi actually made its Blu-ray debut with the Diamond Edition. And before I would go and try to make any sort of comparisons, allow me to go and explain to you about the new things that you would get with this one. And first and foremost, there is one little 5-minute interview clip, which is called Studio Stories Bambi. And like I said, it's just a 5-minute clip taken from a 1956 interview with Walt Disney himself of him reminiscing back into the production of Bambi. like the trials and tribulations and the challenges that they have to go through, and the massive accomplishments that Walt Disney was very proud of that would carry on to the course to go and create better animation for their movies to come. And then there is another new bonus feature in here, which is a couple of new deleted scenes, this time being introduced by Disney legend Floyd Norman. And in here, Floyd would pretty much explain about these two deleted scenes that were removed, and also explain why is it that they had to go and take it out. The first of which is actually an alternative take of the winter scene. Now, you guys may remember in the movie, the winter scene is basically Bambi and Thumper having fun on the ice. Well, there's actually a different take where Bambi, along with Thumper and his sisters, where they would all go and play around the snow. And this is Bambi's first time interacting with snow, so he's just experimenting around, and for the most part what the animators thought up of is mostly this little cartoon moment where just Bambi goofing around with his first experience with snow and also with ice. Along with that as well, there is another take, another deleted scene that they have. This time, a character that we've never heard of before, which is a grasshopper. Now, the reason why they took off this grasshopper is mainly because he was more being a grouch, and the moment that we see him going all around being angry at Bambi and Thumper, and then just sneezing everywhere, it really had nothing to do with the movie in general, and it really did take the focus out of the main character, so that's why they had to take that scene out. Another new thing that it does offer, as it is a tradition of the Walt Disney Signature Collection, is actually a recently discovered Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoon called Africa Before Dark. Now, what is actually interesting about this one is that unlike the other ones where Disney would just recently discover it and they would immediately put it onto their signature collection Blu-rays, this one has been found a little while ago. It was back in 2015 when they recently discovered like the full version of it, and they decided, you know what, now is actually a good time to actually go and put it onto the Bambi Blu-ray, or like this signature edition. So yeah, as it is a tradition, like last time with Pinocchio where we got Poor Papa, this time we actually got Bambi with Africa Before Dark. And then the other two new ones that is included here, they're really short. They're about 3 to 3.5 minutes each, and they're mostly aimed towards kids. And it's actually really interesting to mention about them, because the first one that they have is something called Fun Facts. And you could tell this one is geared more towards kids, because this is actually very, like, in terms of the editing, they made it very fast-paced, where you got this energetic woman explaining to you about little factoids about deers, rabbits, and skunks. And I honestly do have a little bit of a problem with it, and that's probably the weakest bonus feature that they would have on this disc. And the reason why I say that is mainly because of the editing in terms of the audio. Now, visually, it's actually really impressive that they would manage to make this, like, just really snappy and go from one thing to another and add new stuff into it. But the problem with the audio is that the music that you would hear in the backgrounds would sometimes overpower the narration, so you don't really hear the woman talking about little facts about deers, or you would hear little clips from the movie, because all you would hear is just this EDM remix of the original score that they have in here. So most of the time, all you hear is just you know what I mean? And sometimes if you're not a fan of EDM, that's going to be really annoying. Now, the other one that they have included is something called the Bambi effect. Now, it did seem like it would have potential, but again, like Fun Facts, this is really short. It was geared towards kids, and all it was pretty much explaining is how apparently this movie really did take effect to change the way that Disney would make their animated films. Like, how is it that Bambi revolutionized animation and storytelling so that Disney would later adapt it to their later films, even the ones that would be more recent, like the Disney Renaissance movies, or even their computer animated films like Frozen, Zootopia, and Moana. So it would mostly get into that. But again, it's geared more towards kids, and besides, it doesn't really matter because there's still plenty more that they do offer. Now, for me, this is actually the ultimate factor, and that's actually the old bonus features. How much did they actually take from the Diamond Edition and would go implement it here? Now, last time in the Signature Collection, they actually did an extremely great job where Disney would actually take everything, or almost everything, from the Platinum Edition of Pinocchio and put that all into their Signature Collection along with adding new ones. Well, luckily with Bambi, they actually did just that. But the greatest thing about it is that not only did they bring all the stuff from the Diamond Edition onto Bambi, but they also brought in all the Platinum Edition stuff and put it onto here, since they were also all included onto the Diamond Edition of Bambi. Now, these things would include inside Walt story meetings, and this is actually a new way to experience Bambi. Now, this thing is like a combination of a bonus feature, like a behind-the-scenes look, an art gallery, and also a commentary where you actually hear recreations of, you actually hear a reenactment of Walt Disney and his crew when they're talking about the making of Bambi, and it really is awesome. And by the way, I just want to mention right now, for those of you who did buy this and you are looking for that inside Walt story meetings feature, that is actually not in the bonus feature section. I made that mistake by trying to find that for a while, but if you want to go and look for that, you actually go and to the main menu, you hit play, and then you'll see the different versions of it, where you'll have the original theatrical version, you'll get Disney View, where you can watch it with the iPad, where you can get bonus stuff, and then you can also get inside Walt story meetings. So don't look for it in the bonus features, look for it when you hit play. And then there's another one, and this is the big bonus feature from the Platinum Edition. It's called The Making of Bambi, A Prince is Born, which is a 52-minute long documentary all about the making of this movie that really gets down into it. You also got some of the classic deleted scenes. You also got a deleted song, which is called Twitter Pated. You got inside the Disney archives, where one of Disney's animators, Andreas Deja, would take a look into the Disney archives, looking at old animations, like old storyboard art and old rough animations done for Bambi. Then they also have another one called Tricks of the Trade, where apparently, this is the one where Walt Disney would introduce to people about the multiplane camera and how that was a big part in making their movies, to have the illusion of depth in their old features. And they even included a classic cartoon where you can go and watch The Old Mill. Now, this is one of Disney's most popular cartoons that they have done in the Silly Symphony series, and it's actually a lot more serious, but it definitely was revolutionary in terms of the animation itself. Oh, and by the way, there is one more thing. I just want to go and quickly correct myself, because I did make a little mistake about Disney View. Apparently Disney View, what it is, no, that's not the one where you can watch it with your iPad and stuff like that. What Disney View is that since Bambi is only in full screen, they would go and fill the bars on the side with some little artwork. So just in case you get distracted by those little black bars on the side when you watch full view, so at least like they would just go and fill that in. And that's pretty much it with what Bambi has. So basically, long story short, is that you pretty much get everything that you would get in the Diamond Edition, but the only difference is that you would actually get a little bit more with this one. Now, in terms of what you would get with this, it does come with your standard package. You got your Blu-ray, you got a DVD of it, and you also have a digital HD version of the film. But what is actually interesting is that you also have a bonus gift inside. Check it out. Okay, so not only do you get all that, but on top of that, you also get a exclusive lithograph. This is a little artwork that is done by Tyrus Wong, who was one of the lead artists of Bambi, and his art style would be what would influence the artist to go and create the look of Bambi as we know today, which unfortunately Tyrus Wong has passed away at the end of 2016, but the good thing about it is that he did live a full life. Like, he was 106 years old. And what's actually really cool about this is that if you look in the back, which does mention about Tyrus Wong, is that it also folds out so that you can create a little stand for it. So at least for the remainder of this review, I'll just have this little centerpiece right over here. It actually does look pretty cool. So you do get an additional nice collector's item along with your purchase of Bambi. So honestly, as an animation fan and an animation enthusiast and all that kind of stuff, I gotta say this nice little addition is actually really awesome. Now overall, if I have to go and give my rating to this Blu-ray of Bambi, this is absolutely fantastic, and it definitely met a lot more than my expectations. So screw it, I'm giving it a perfect score. This is a freaking 10 out of 10 Blu-ray. So not only is it pretty much a re-release of what you got with the Diamond Edition of Bambi, but you also get a lot more with it. So not only do you go and get a digital HD of it, but on top of that, you got a few new extra stuff. You got a couple more deleted scenes. You got interviews with Walt Disney. You also got a new Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoon. Well, not new, but like a newly discovered Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoon. So it's pretty much everything that you had before and more. And already the bonus features that were in the Diamond Edition of Bambi were absolutely fantastic. I'm really glad to see that they have brought this one back. So what I want to say right now is that if you guys are either a Disney fan or an animation fan, then yes, you must absolutely get this in your collection. I don't know why you should not have it, considering this is a massively influential classic. I mean, there's no excuse not to have it in your collection. However, for those of you who have already owned Bambi for the Diamond Edition, I'm gonna be very honest. It really does depend if you want to spend extra money to get those bonus features. Like, listen back to what I said about those bonus features and try to determine for yourself to see if they really are that worth it to go and get a massive upgrade. Honestly, the only thing I will say, though, that the Diamond Edition is superior to the Signature Collection is honestly in terms of the cover. Like, if you go check this out, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like with this one, it definitely tells me more that this is Bambi than this one right over here, where you just got this mostly white background and all you got is just the friendly owl and Thumper just looking at Bambi with a butterfly, and literally that's it. I feel like there's a little bit more artistry and effort put into this one than we have right over here, but other than that, this is definitely an awesome version. Like, they're both equally fantastic, but you do get a little bit more with this one. And there is one more thing I would like to say, however, not just with Bambi, but just for the Walt Disney Signature Collection altogether, is that with Bambi, along with what we previously had earlier in 2017 with Pinocchio, I think this is an official statement from Disney saying that now the Signature Collection is absolutely worth it. That they have definitely learned their lessons from the mistakes that they've made with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Beauty and the Beast, and now they know how to construct a very fantastic product with it, and they know, like, for many years well, not many years, but I mean for the many different Blu-rays that they will release with it, like now it's gotta be worth it. So at least it's gonna be something that I'm sure for Blu-ray collectors, for animation fans, for Disney fans, it's gonna be something that they have to keep an eye on. And honestly, I'm really happy for Disney that they have learned their lesson with it. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this review. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to go and check out FilmBook if you guys want to go and get daily updates on anything that's going on in the entertainment industry with movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff. Along with checking out a few extra things that I would do, like weekly movie news or an animation podcast where I put my thoughts on some of the news that's happening in animation. You can go check it out at film-book.com. However, if it's more me that you guys are enjoying, then don't forget to go and check out my YouTube channel, Electric Dragon 505, along with some of the extra stuff that I have to offer on social media like Facebook, Twitter, and even on Patreon. And I just want to say right now that recently, as of this video, I actually put up a brand new top 10 called the Top 10 Best Disney Animated Blu-rays. So you can go and check it out on my channel to see which ones are definitely worth it, as much as either the Signature Collection or the Diamond Edition of Bambi, in which, yes, this one actually made it on the list. So, with all that said and done, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later, dudes!